Welcome to One.
Hi, my name is Carrie Mannino. I'm an English major in the class of 2020.
It's one of those vivid memory days, just like 9/11, where you just know exactly what happened when you found out.
Looking back, it's like walking through a fog.
I was not going in that morning because we had a big Friday night service. And anyway, I often went in about 20 after 10. So even if I was going in, because I was thinking of going in that morning, I knew I wasn't going in until then.
On either side of me, there were like speeding cop cars, and I'm hearing sirens from everywhere.
That morning was a beautiful morning, and we did our normal thing. Robin goes to the studio in Millville to draw. She does live drawings, and we were in our normal routine.
He said, "You didn't go to shul this morning, did you?" I said, "Corey, I don't go to shul anymore." "Why are you asking?"
I go my normal route, and a policeman tells me I can't go that way. And I'm looking up, and I was like, God, I hope nothing happened at Tree of Life.
He said, "Okay, there's an active shooter at the Tree of Life."
I got a call from my nurse practitioner asking me if I was okay, because she was watching this unfold on television, and our house was right there when the cameras were.
I got a call about 6 minutes after 10 from Ellen Ledger saying, "Where are you?"
Nothing was on the news. I looked. So I must have been there at, because I had enough time to take a quick shower. Came out of the shower, and breaking news was on.
She said, "Don't go in, there's a shooting. Dan and Jerry are there and we don't know anything yet."
I turned on the television, and it was still an active shooter situation.
I don't know how many times I sat through the news just watching it over. It was just like my phone did not stop ringing all day.
I didn't know quite what to do. There wasn't anything I could do. I turned on the TV waiting for news.
We went up there, and as I got past the media, I saw the governor, and I saw Senator Casey, and I saw some other people, and I said to Stanley, something really bad is happening, because these guys were all on the campaign trail, and they just got dropped here.
I can still remember that entire week it rained. It was just this cold autumn rain, and that pathway all around Tree of Life was filled with big media trucks and muddy front yards.
I got the page that morning and I grabbed the mayor. And then I got to the scene and we were there within minutes. None of it kicked in on what it meant, like at the time. I knew we had an active shooter. I knew he was still alive and he was at the synagogue, and I knew we had officers down.
So we've just seen a short clip from a Zoom reading of It Couldn't Happen Here that happened May 6th. And I want to ask you a little bit about the play, the story, and your personal connection to it. But before, I want to hear a little bit about your area of study and what brought you to Yale.
So I was an English major, and I was on the creative writing concentration. I actually became really interested in Yale because of the creative writing program. So that's sort of what led me to writing a play as my thesis. I concentrated in playwriting and work with Donald Margulies, which was really, really fantastic, who I had taken a class with. So that was sort of my trajectory. I knew that I loved theater. I knew that I was not an actor. I was a playwright and a director. And I got to kind of follow that through the English major, which was great.
Carrie, could you talk a little bit about It Couldn't Happen Here, what it's about, and why the genre of a documentary play to tell this specific story?
It Couldn't Happen Here is a documentary play about the aftermath of the shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in October 2018. And I'm a member of one of the congregations that was targeted in that attack. So I felt very moved to write something about this after it happened. It was very difficult for me to be on campus in the aftermath and to suddenly have everybody at school know my community, know my neighborhood, know people that I knew, but only know them from the context of like the national news and this really horrific event that had happened. And so I wanted to tell a broader story and a deeper story about like my community, what it's like to live here, grow up here, and also to kind of follow the aftermath long past when the media stopped covering it. I became interested in the documentary genre because I acted in a documentary play in high school. I was in the Laramie Project. which is a documentary play by the Tectonic Theater Company about the murder of Matthew Shepard. And it's a play that's often used in high schools as sort of a way to open up a conversation about really tough issues, about hate crimes and what this looks like in our modern day and tolerance.
Because you're talking about telling a broader story nestled through a specific lens, there was more freedom there to be creative with casting. So I'm wondering if you could talk about that.
The play is based on interviews that I conducted, and there's over 30 characters. And I knew when I wrote it that I didn't want there to be over 30 actors. I wanted it to be kind of a smaller cast of people who were playing more than one character. So there's 6 actors, and each plays about 5 or 6 characters. And I really tried to make sure that each actor played a diverse set of identities. So when I was talking to people in the community, I wanted to make sure I wasn't just talking to like white Jewish people from one community. I wanted to make sure that there was sort of a diverse perspective on what had happened. And I really tried to kind of open up conversations just about Pittsburgh and the community as a whole, and then found that people often wanted to talk about what had happened, and that I didn't want to prompt it. I never asked anybody for details about the day. I didn't want to I didn't want them to feel like their trauma was being put on display. That's not what I wanted this play to be at all. I just wanted to kind of share their experience and their life here in Pittsburgh.
If we can imagine a world without social distance and we are back gathering in theaters and in venues, what type of stage, what type of venue would you like to see It Couldn't Happen Here performed at? And who do you imagine is the target audience for this play? And what do you hope people get from it?
I would really love for it to be produced in Pittsburgh, especially because it is the voices of so many people in the community. I really would love the opportunity for them to get to see their voices on stage. I would love for it to open up conversations. I would love for it to be used as an educational tool, and to have people kind of talk about these issues because it's through a bunch of different diverse voices. I'm hoping that it prompts more conversation and doesn't necessarily make people who disagree just push it away immediately, since there is sort of like a variety of takes on issues, a variety of conversations portrayed in the play itself. So I would love for it to kind of open up dialogues to look at these issues, kind of see them from a number of different perspectives, and start talking about them.